Well, hey, y'all. Welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. Today's program is going to be a little different. We are having this sort of ad hoc discussion about data centers, and I want to continue that discussion, but I want to continue it from another position other than pro or anti. Hope you're down for it. So we're going to go deep on data centers, the factories of the digital age. And trust me, it's way more complicated than just cloud storage. Okay, let's start with something that seems obvious, but seemingly isn't. AI lives somewhere. Every chat GPT query, every image generation, every voice assistant response, every time you go to Google and map something, and that all lives somewhere. It happens in a physical building, on physical hardware, consuming physical electricity. Now, here's a number that's going to wake you up a little bit. A single AI training cluster where the model is learning with 10,000 GPUs can draw 100 megawatts of power. Now, that's enough electricity for a small city, and that's just in one facility. The hardware side is brutal. We're talking about servers drawing 10 to 15 kilowatts per rack. Traditional data centers were designed for 5 to 10 kilowatts, right? We're doing doubling or tripling of that density now. And the air cooling literally can't keep up anymore. That's right. We're hitting the physical limits of air, which is why the cutting edge facilities are moving to liquid cooling. Now, I don't mean fancy water pipes. What I mean is submerging the entire servers in dielectric fluid. Microsoft has tested this underwater data centers. Companies are looking at abandoned mines for natural cooling. The power consumption isn't just an engineering problem. Of course, it's an economic and environmental one. These facilities can use millions of gallons of water for cooling. And they're straining electrical grids that were never designed for that kind of load. Okay, so it's expensive to run. But how expensive is it to build? A modern hyperscale AI training facility runs 500 million to $1 billion. That's just for one. Microsoft is spending over $50 billion this year on data centers. Google, Amazon, Meta, similar numbers. The entire industry is dropping about 200 billion with a B dollars on AI infrastructure. Now, here's where it gets interesting from a public policy perspective, which is what we're talking about. Because these companies are the most profitable companies in human history. And they're not paying full price for any of this stuff. Not even close. Let me tell you about Iowa. Lovely state. Corn, caucuses, and also $150 million per year in tax breaks for data centers. Apple got $208 million in tax breaks to build there. Microsoft has over $2 billion in facilities. Google and Meta too. And here's the kicker. Microsoft made $14 billion in profit. And Iowa called tax breaks for them economic development. It's corporate welfare, pure and simple. One state senator called it exactly that, welfare for a company making billions. These are trillion-dollar companies extracting wealth from local communities under the guise of jobs. But frankly, a data center only employs 50 to 200 people, most of them in security and maintenance. It's not a factory. It's a warehouse with computers. And the equipment, made in Taiwan. The economic impact, minimal. The strain on infrastructure, massive. Here's the thing. This isn't new. We have seen this movie before. Professional sports team, same playbook. Build a stadium or we'll move. It'll revitalize downtown. Think of the jobs. How many times have cities fallen for this? Build a $1 billion stadium for a team owned by billionaires, funded by public bonds that take 30 years to pay off. And the economic impact studies, when they're actually analyzed, show 0 to negative returns on investment. The similarity here is uncanny. The threats, the overstated benefits, the asymmetry, the asymmetric negotiations where the company has teams of attorneys and the city has hope. The photo op for politicians, the long-term costs borne by taxpayers. Well, hell, at least, you can watch a concert in the stadium. A data center is a windowless warehouse in an industrial park somewhere that gives 0 back to the community. You can't tour it. You can't use it. It just takes. But something's changing. The pushback is starting to grow. Idaho said no to data center tax breaks. Nebraska is debating whether to continue the ones they already have. Washington State let high-tech tax breaks expire. Northern Virginia, the data center capital of the world, Northern Virginia, has put a moratorium on new construction because of the electrical grid can't handle it. Communities are connecting the dots, and they're asking this. You want tax breaks? And you'll strain our grid? You want exemptions? And you'll use 1 million gallons of our water? For 50 jobs? The narrative is shifting from economic development to corporate extraction. And this is not one political side. Progressives hate corporate welfare. Conservatives say free markets mean no special deals. Rural Republicans don't want their grid strained for coastal tech companies. And the game only works if the states keep racing to the bottom. But what if they stopped? Here's the insight that could change everything. These companies need data centers more than any specific location needs them. Microsoft can't serve the East Coast from Iowa alone. They need geographic distribution. They need to be near population centers. They need places with available power. Their options are actually rather limited. The leverage exists if communities organize, if multiple states adopt standards simultaneously. Here's what it costs to build here. The companies would have nowhere to run. They'd have to pay the actual cost of doing business. The solution is conditional incentives with enforceable community benefits. Let me say that again because I have to get it out of my mouth. The solution is conditional incentives with enforceable community benefits. For instance, you want $200 million in tax breaks? Cool. But you must contractually agree to, say, build 3 public schools, upgrade the electrical grid for the entire county, fund public fiber internet, guarantee 500 jobs at $80,000 for 10 years. Not promises, contracts, upfront, tangible. Front load the benefits. Make them build a school now. Not promise jobs that might or may not, materialize. If the community can see what they're getting and it's real, then it's fair trade. Otherwise, it's just extraction. Now, this applies to beyond data centers. The Tampa Bay Rays want a new stadium. Same deal. Real skin in the game. Infrastructure investment, community benefits, not trickle-down promises, tangible, enforceable commitments. The principle is universal. If you want public resources, provide public benefit. The game is changing, folks. Unconditional tax breaks for data centers are becoming politically untenable. Communities are asking the hard questions, thanks to you and I, and that's how change happens. So the next time you hear about a major economic development announcement, a data center, a stadium, corporate headquarters, ask, what are we actually getting? And is it worth what we're giving away? Because in the end, these companies will build anyway. They have to. The only question is, who pays for it? Will it be the taxpayers or their shareholders? Thanks for coming to the Morning Report. My name is Will Austin. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.